Anyone who's a fan of J.J. Ballard will already know that he always felt like an outsider in Great Britain. He was brought up in Shanghai, and he came to England when he was 14 years old in the mid-50s, and it was very depressed. It was after the Second World War, and he didn't recognize the country he'd read about in books. And so he always felt outside it and became a great analyst of the British experience, of socio-political economics and the class system and our manners and our behavior and our sense of humor. And I think with High Rise and with his other novels as well, what he's doing is he's taking a slice of British society, containing it in a very high-stakes environment of a tower block which is descending into chaos, and examining who we might become in that. What does it take for our British manners to start eroding, to start breaking down, and then who are we underneath that? And he always was very careful. He said, I'm not saying this is who we are, I'm saying this is who we might be. He used to say that, Ballard used to say, he was holding a sign by the side of the road as the traffic rushed past saying, caution, bends ahead, which I loved. So there's a certain sort of, Ballard is the great interpreter of the dystopian nightmare, and that's what drew me to it.
What attracted me to it was a book I'd read when I was a kid, and I really loved it, and I wanted to. I just wondered why it had never been made, and it becomes, as the years went on, and it became more and more prescient. It's an interesting thing to have done a film that's like a large ensemble piece, which I haven't done before, and it was a real treat.
Honestly, I had so much fun making this film with Ben. He's such a wise man, and he's such a kind man, and he wears his knowledge about film very lightly, and he's mischievous. He's got a really mischievous energy in terms of what he's prepared to put on film. I'm a huge admirer of his other work, particularly of Kill List and A Field in England. I think A Field in England is a masterpiece. I watched it when I was out of the country, and it made me miss home. I could smell the rain. It was interesting. So Ben's great, and he's impeccably kind and egalitarian, and he shoots fast. And I loved it. We had a really good time. It felt like, this film feels like an indoor firework. And some people are frightened by that, and some people are thrilled by it.
He's just, he's one of those, he's a proper actor's director. He doesn't scream and shout and throw his weight around, and he's a big lad. He could do. He's just a collaborator in the way that directors should be. I gather there are directors out there that do scream and shout and throw the toys out of the pram. They're not directors I want to work with.
Ben has an incredible eye for authenticity, so there's no kind of messing around. All of the actors that he cast, I just found myself wrapped up watching everybody doing what they were doing, and the characters that they had created, and it just felt so visceral, and there was no pretending, which is a very rare thing. It was such a relief to be on something. Oh, my husband was on it as well, which is really nice. But it's literally the nicest group of people I've ever worked with.
To do this, so
I've never had such a good time. Just every single scene is a beautiful scene with ridiculous things happen. So all of us were over the moon with all the work that was happening, and just being together. It was just. I'm really sad it's over. I'm really excited to see it though.
It just doesn't get much better. Working with not just the Jeremy Ironses and the Siennas and the Toms, but the Bill Pattersons, and all the way down the line. It was just great fun. It's like going to a party every day. It was fun.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I went to school up the road, so to show a movie here is. I'm blowing my introduction speech now here, but to show films in London is incredible. In these big giant cinemas is a real treat.